Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another YouTube video. In this one, I wanted to talk about an idea that's kind of been floating around in my head, and as I've been consulting some of the people inside of our programs and helping them grow their businesses, this is something that I'm realizing is a core theme that is applying across the board in my business, our clients' businesses, and hopefully your business as well, and hopefully this is a valuable video for you. And essentially, all I'm really trying to make the point of in this video is that methods or strategies don't actually matter. The common beginner, or even somebody trying to take their business from a certain level to a new level that, it's kind of scares them and don't understand, they always assume that the gap is a method. They always assume that the gap is a strategy or some sort of a concept or, something that they don't know yet that they need to apply and then, see the results. And though this is sometimes the case, there's sometimes some sort of a gap, most of the time, methods aren't the problem. The problem is you don't know how to measure your methods. You don't know how to measure the strategies that you're doing. You don't know how to tell for yourself what next thing needs to come. And the way you figure out what needs to happen next in your business is by measuring all of the activities that you put into play, and you see what's working and what's not working and make your decisions off of that. Let me give you an example. In our business, we help people start and grow or grow their existing consulting agency or coaching businesses. We've created $2 million a year clients out of our programs, and both of them started from scratch, which not many people in this industry can say. We're very, very proud to have done it. That being said, one of the main things that I've noticed at that beginner level that I had to sort of stomp out and keep them from getting distracted with was, what method should I use? Should I use cold email, or should I cold call, or should I use Facebook groups? Should I use Facebook ads, YouTube ads? Should I start a YouTube channel? Podcast? What is it? Like, what should I do to try and get clients? What should I do to try to get my name out there? And eventually it took a lot of convincing, to be honest with you. It took a lot of constant, convincing, but eventually they got it, that it doesn't matter what method you use. It just matters that you know the numbers. Should I take a sales call, or should I send somebody through a webinar? It doesn't matter. Know your numbers. Should I sell at $10,000 or should I sell at $5,000? It doesn't matter. Know your numbers. So the method itself does not matter. And let me give you a story about myself as I've grown my business. If you look back about 2 years ago, I've been uploading on this channel for a really long time. If you look back, you can see a difference in my methodology and how I thought in my business. You could look at different ways that I used to teach things versus the ways that I teach things now. And you can also just look at, the confidence level I had as I presented those things. You can see a lot of personal growth in my process as I've grown as an entrepreneur. I'm a human and I've struggled and it's been hard, but this YouTube channel has kind of acted as like a place for me to consistently bring value to other people and bring that growth into other people's businesses, which then in turn becomes growth in my business, which is a lot of fun. But that being said, you can go back and you can see I used to talk a lot about methods. I used to say how to use, cold emails, how to cold call. And if you get online and you start searching, let's say you're trying to start an e-commerce business, immediately you're going to see people saying how to use Facebook ads to grow your e-com store, or how to, Shopify or WooCommerce. Or let's say you're a coach. People say, which one's better? Should you start a course or should you go do a coaching program? Which one's better? Or all these little methods. But it just doesn't matter. What matters most is that, again, you know your numbers. And what I mean by this is whether it's WooCommerce or Shopify, which one sells more stuff. That's all that matters. Try them both and see which one works best. Whether it's a coaching program or a course, which one gets the best results for clients? That's all that matters. Just measure that and then just go with that. Whether it's cold calling or Facebook groups or cold email or running a funnel, whatever it is to get clients for your consulting your business, your agency business, doesn't matter. Just do one and start measuring the results. The best method is the one that you've been using for a long enough time to where you can start to measure the results. You can start to measure the numbers, and you start to know what you need to do based on the numbers telling you. So for example, today we just launched a YouTube ads campaign. We're spending about $700 a day in my business now. And we're just going to take things up a little bit. It's about $20,000 a month, which should be a solid platform. I'm thinking about leaving it live for about a month and then seeing what the numbers look like and then adjusting, right? That's what I'm going to do. So I've launched them today already. We've gotten some calls. We've gotten some clicks. We've gotten some leads. And we're going to let that run, and we're going to see where that takes the business, right? This is what we teach people in the 7-Figure Systems group as well. We help them launch their ads, launch their funnels, launch their campaigns to grow their business, because once you can pay to grow your business, that's when you have control. And the reason why is because you can immediately know your numbers. Like I'm looking at my screen here right now and I'm seeing, which ads have done better than others. And I'm able to measure, what decisions I should make in my business because I'm seeing the numbers right on my screen. So a lot of people think the method is what matters, but it's not. What matters is knowing your numbers. So for example, one of the methods that we teach is using Facebook groups to prospect clients. It's a really easy way to grow your business either from scratch to like a $10,000 or $20,000 a month level. Not everybody can do it, just income disclaimer to be completely fair, but we do have lots of people that have succeeded with us with this model. As well, you can see a video previously, we recorded a case study where one of our clients went from $0 to $50,000 a month with his business using only Facebook groups. And the thing that set him apart from a lot of other clients is he followed our advice and he implemented our strategy of tracking how many posts you put out, when you put them out, how many comments you get, how many messages you get, how many meetings you get, and how many sales calls you get off of that and how many you close. So you just measure every single step of the process of the customer journey so that you can then make decisions from there. There's businesses out there that do $50 million a year with a prospecting center of, 30, 40, 50 cold callers that send out, 4,000 cold calls a day because they know that it takes 100 cold calls to get a meeting and it takes 4 meetings to get a client and one client is worth $50,000 a year to them or something like that, right? So they send out at least every single day, they want to get at least 1 or 2 new clients or something like that. I don't really know what the numbers would line up like for a $50 million a year business, but you can see what I'm saying. They know that it takes them X amount of calls to get a client, and they know that it takes them, so many get a client to get a sales call. It takes them so many sales calls to get a client. So I'm sort of stumbling over my thoughts here. And once they know that number, they can scale their business. So for me, I know what I have to spend to get a client, and that's the only number I need to know. I know what a client is worth. I know how many sales calls we need to take in order to close that client. I know, this YouTube channel, for example, I know the numbers of this channel. I know how many views it takes in order to get somebody to book a call for us to help them. I know how many calls it takes for us to find a good fit that makes sense and we get them into our programs. I know how many people need to join our program in order for somebody to get crazy results as well. I know that number as well. So I know the numbers off of everything. Everything that I do is all numbers. And once you get to that point in your business, then the methods just start to sort of crumble because the numbers guide you. They tell you what to do. So hopefully this video has been valuable. This is a very simple concept that I felt like I needed to sort of relay to you guys because I see so many people getting stuck. So many beginners are stuck at the stage of like, should I do this or this? Should I use this tool or this tool? Or should I try this to prospect or this to prospect? And for the most part, it doesn't really matter. Like, unless you're trying to do something really, really unscalable, like sending out, handwritten letters to your clients or something like that, that just doesn't scale. So don't do that unless you're creating bottlenecks for yourself with your prospecting method. It doesn't matter what your prospecting method is. You just have to know the numbers. So that's kind of the summary of this video. Know your numbers. Methods don't matter. Start creating some noise. Start getting out into the market, putting out the posts, messaging the people, trying to get meetings, and just seeing what happens. And make your adjustments from there. It is impossible to not adjust and grow your business as long as you are taking at least 1 call every week. If not, you should be taking at least 1 call a day for your business. Inside of our programs, we help people do 4, 5, even 6 calls a day. We've taken 8 calls today in my business, and many people that I've worked with have even done over like 10 calls in a single day at one point, which is a lot of fun. That means a lot of business for them coming in the door. So hopefully this makes sense to you. Hopefully this concept has been valuable for you. Do not overthink methods. Just start using one. The best method, people always ask me, what's the best method for getting clients? What's the best method for growing your business or, getting client results or whatever? All of these things make themselves known when you just start toying with it and start playing with it and seeing what works. And that's really all I'm trying to say. Like, tons of methods work, and honestly, every single method does work. Like, often it's the execution of that method that is the problem. It's not even the method itself. It's just the execution of it. So, if you invest into a program and you get someone's help or you see somebody doing things a certain way, more often than not, the way that they do things works just fine. The difference between them and you, or the difference between their successful clients and you, is that their successful clients or themselves, they're tracking their numbers and they're executing on it daily and making the adjustments necessary, whereas you might be banking solely on the method itself to do the work for you instead of, growing a better offer, having more authority, becoming a better version of yourself and in serving your clients better and getting more results under your belt so that you can market easier, get more clients, and sort of creating that loop. I don't care what method it is. The most important thing is that you have gotten client results, or you're capable of getting client results, or you can explain to your clients how you're going to get them results. If you can't do one of those things, it's going to be really hard for you to get clients consistently. So yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's my point. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. To summarize it, every method works. There's no method that doesn't work. Every single method works. Don't get attached to method. Get out there, start playing with methods, and know your numbers. And then you'll be able to scale. So thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. See you in the next one.